Bitcoin is ready to make a huge next move because we are seeing this huge trend reversal happening for Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. And in this video, I will tell you exactly what we're going to see for Bitcoin in the coming week and how you can prepare for all this price action. I will have a look at several time frames with you, and I will look at a lot of different charts for Bitcoin. But we can also see a CME gap opening for Bitcoin this weekend. And there's a lot of interesting data and news articles coming into the markets, which I will share with you in this video. I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Chainlink and Bittensor TAO, but about that later in the video. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end to be prepared for next week. Please like the video because it will help my channel a lot. If you want to join my free Telegram group, just click the link in the description under this video. And with that have being said, let's dive right into the charts. On Friday evening, Bitcoin opened the CME gap at around the $98,329, and it was around here. And we can see that Bitcoin is trading around this level just like we always expect during the weekend. And of course, we could see a little bit of volatility coming into the weekend, but of course, Bitcoin is always 99 out of 100 times Bitcoin is going to close this CME gap. So I expect that Bitcoin will eventually see a close of the gap shortly after the weekend is over. So I think Bitcoin will just trade around this level during the course of the rest of the weekend and during the course of the rest of this Sunday. So after we close the gap after the weekend, we can trade freely during the week. So this would be very interesting to see. So for the rest of the Sunday, I don't expect a lot of volatility. And during the course of this week, I've been talking about this huge breakout for Bitcoin. And we saw a huge consolidation happening. We saw a lot of touch points on the top side here at this trendline resistance. And we also saw this huge horizontal support coming into play. And every time we touch this support, I was telling you that I was been buying more Bitcoin at this green box of accumulation, and we exactly did it. And we also see that after this breakout of this trendline resistance, we saw a beautiful retest, and after bullish retest, I was telling you in my Telegram channel that you could have entered the market here in a long for Bitcoin. And from this bullish retest, you could have already made almost a 6% increase. So especially when you are leverage trading, this is a very insane trade, and this could have been a significant trade for you to make. So of course, we are now looking very bullish, and this could be the start of the rest of the impulse for Bitcoin. And the breakout target of this formation will be confluent with the top side of the formation, and that is also confluent with the 108,000, which is the previous all-time high. So for now, Bitcoin is in this beautiful uptrend, and we are seeing a little bit of a downtrend shifting into an uptrend. So let's see if Bitcoin can continue the bullish uptrend in the rest of the coming week. And if we then have a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow, we can see that Friday was a very bullish day for the Bitcoin ETFs. We saw a total inflow of $908 million, so this is insane of course. And we can see that BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise and the ARK Bitcoin ETF are buying like crazy, and this is exactly how we wanted to see it. So we are now coming closer to the $36 billion of total cumulative inflow again, and we can see a little bit of a spike to the top side here. So let's see if we can continue the bullish momentum, and let's see if we can maybe aim for this $40 billion in total cumulative inflow, and this of course will pump up the price of Bitcoin even more. And if we then have a quick look at the Ethereum ETF flow, we can see that Friday was also a little bit of a bullish day for the Ethereum ETFs because we saw almost $59 million of inflow, and especially the BlackRock and the Fidelity Ethereum ETF were buying. So this is exactly how we want to see it. So let's see if they also can continue the streak in the rest of the week, and if we're going to see a bullish start of 2025. And if we zoom into the Bitcoin 1 hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin was in this huge bearish trend. We saw lower highs and lower lows, but after that we saw a trend reversal, and now we're creating higher lows and higher highs. So this is looking very bullish, and this trend reversal for Bitcoin is exactly what we want to see. So for now we are still creating higher highs and higher lows. So let's see if Bitcoin can continue the bullish momentum in the rest of the week, and eventually we want to see a higher high of course, and we want to break this previous high, and that of course will be very bullish. And zooming out a little bit to the 4 hour time frame, we can see a lot of interesting resistances coming into the market right now. And if we can see this horizontal level unfolding, because looking at the chart and looking at the previous price interaction at this level, we can see a lot of resistance and support coming into the market at this level. So this is a very important horizontal level to break for Bitcoin, and currently we can see a little bit of a rejection coming into the market here. But if Bitcoin can break this level to the top side, maybe retest it as support again, and then you see a continuation of the price, it is looking very bullish. So this will be the next big horizontal resistance for Bitcoin to break, and that is around the $99,000. Currently we are at almost the $98,000. So I think next week this could be the next make or break target. So we are going to see a break to the top side, or we are going to see a continuation to the downside and see a huge rejection from there. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about this level. Are we going to break it next week, or are we going to see lower prices again, that we have to aim for lower prices around the $95,000? And we saw that Michael Saylor meted Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump, at Mar-a-Lago, and this is of course very bullish because they are most likely going to talk about Bitcoin and the financial situation in America, and of course Michael Saylor is one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls. So the chances are very high that they've talked about Bitcoin. And of course, if Donald Trump is also going to invest in Bitcoin and America is going to buy Bitcoin for their strategic reserve, it is going to open the floodgates for Bitcoin and it will only pump up the price. And we can also see that Bitcoin is now worth more than JP Morgan, Visa and MasterCard combined. So this is looking very bullish, and a lot of big banks are going to be involved into Bitcoin, but because first they didn't want Bitcoin, but now they want to own Bitcoin as well. So this is what the revolution of Bitcoin is looking like, and it is in full effect right now. And in my latest videos, I've also been sharing my price orders for Bitcoin. And at these white lines, I've set my buy orders for Bitcoin. So every time we go a little bit lower, I buy more Bitcoin for the long term. But we can see that the first touch of this huge buy order got hit perfectly. And after this buy order got hit, we are now a significant up for almost 6.5%. So this is insane, of course. And of course, don't copy me. Everything I say in this video is not financial advice, but I've been telling you that I've been buying here more Bitcoin. And of course, if Bitcoin is going a little bit lower, I'm going to buy here as well. And if we're going lower, I'm going to buy even more. So I think Bitcoin will eventually see prices above the $100,000. So every time I'm going to buy below the $100,000, I think it's still considered very cheap. So I think we will just see a continuation of the price for Bitcoin, or we are going to see a breakdown below this support level. But of course, I don't mind, because every time we touch this level, my buy orders are just getting hit. So let me know in the comments, where did you put your buy orders for Bitcoin, and are you going to buy more Bitcoin for the long term as well? And there was also a very interesting news article coming in, and that was that MicroStrategy is going to raise up to $2 billion in public offering, and this means that they are going to most likely buy more Bitcoin. And of course, if they're going to buy more Bitcoin, it will pump up the price for Bitcoin even more. And this is very bullish for Bitcoin, because MicroStrategy just keeps on buying no matter what the price of Bitcoin is, and they haven't bought above the $100,000, but I think they will most definitely do. So if they're going to buy more Bitcoin, we will most likely see a big pump, and it could all happen next week or maybe in this month of January. So it's looking all too bullish, and I think MicroStrategy will be one of the biggest companies in the history ever, because they own a lot of Bitcoin. And if we zoom out all the way to the monthly time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is now trying to create that huge exponential move, just like we saw in the last bull cycles. And every time we crossed the previous all-time high of the last cycle, we saw a beautiful spike to the top side, just like we saw in the last cycle as well. And now we can see we broke this previous all-time high resistance of the last cycle. And now Bitcoin is trying to separate itself from this resistance area after being touched as support. So we are now maybe going to see this exponential move in the coming months for Bitcoin. And this could all be happening just like in the last cycles. And history is most likely going to repeat. So still, we are below the $100,000. And I think Bitcoin is still considered very cheap. So every time I'm able to buy Bitcoin below the $100,000, I'm going to buy more. And if we then have a look at the Bitcoin stock to flow model, we can see that the cycles are looking very similar every time. And of course, we are now trying to separate itself from this huge horizontal line and this bear market prices. So according to the Bitcoin stock to flow model, we will see average prices around to $400,000. So this could be very, very intense, of course, in the coming months. And we could see a lot of interesting price action. But also we are going to see a lot of dips during this bull trend. So keep in mind that we also could see dips for 20% or something. But of course we could also see pumps for 100% in just 1 month or something. So this is looking very bullish. And let me know in the comments what you think about the Bitcoin stock to flow model. Do you think we will see an average price of more than $400,000 in this coming cycle? And the first altcoin I want to have a look at is Chainlink. We can see Chainlink was in this bear market lows, and we saw a huge downtrend in the last couple of months. But after that we saw a beautiful spike to the top side, and we're now looking at the daily time frame for Chainlink. So we saw that previous resistance areas were getting broken to the top side, and we saw beautiful continuation of this bullish momentum, because we shifted from this huge downtrend into a huge uptrend. So this is looking very bullish for Chainlink. And now we can see that after we broke the resistance, we beautifully retested this as support again. And that's also what we did after this resistance was broken to the top side. We retested this as support. And the last big resistance was also broken to the top side. And now we're seeing a triple touch of this huge area to test it as support. And this support held once again. And from this support, you could have entered the market in a long because this was a very bullish retest. And you could have already made an insane amount of 20% already. So this could have been a very significant trade. And I've been talking about this huge trade in my previous videos about Chainlink. So if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, we can see there are also a lot of interesting resistance level coming into play. And previously we broke this huge horizontal level which acted as resistance in the past. As we can see here, we broke it to the top side, then we retested it as support. So this is looking very bullish, but this next big resistance was a little bit too strong to break. So we are seeing a huge rejection coming into the market, but after this bullish retest we could just continue the bullish momentum to the top side, and that of course will be very bullish. So this level around the $29 is the next big make or break level for Chainlink. And if we're going to break it to the top side, we will most likely see levels around the $33 again. So this could be the start of the next impulse for Chainlink. And let's see if we can see a beautiful separation of this support level and that we're going to see more topside continuation of the price of the Chainlink. And let me know in the comments, do you still hold Chainlink in your portfolio? And what is your price prediction for Chainlink in 2025? And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Bittensor TAO. We can see a lot of horizontal levels coming into play. And in the last months, I've been talking about this huge interesting project which is called Bittensor TAO. In the last months, we saw this huge downward sloping falling wedge, which eventually saw a breakout to the top side. And we came back to test previous resistance levels. And we broke several resistance levels to the top side, which we retested as support again. So currently, we are running into big resistance. And we can see in the past that a lot of price interaction around this level as resistance, but also as support. And currently we are trying to break it to the top side. And this is the next make or break level for Bittensor TAO in the coming week. So we are currently at the $550. And let's see if we can continue the bullish momentum, break the resistance to the top side, retest it as resistance. And then if we're going to the next big resistance level, then we could see levels above those $700. So this is going to be very crucial for Bittensor TAO. But if we're going to see a rejection and we have to aim for lower prices again, then we have to aim for prices around the $480. So this could also be a very interesting level to see, because in the past we can see a lot of resistance coming into the market here, and we broke it to the top side now. So we could also retest it as support. And if we're going back to this price, I'm going to buy more Bittensor TAO because we could see a little bit of a W pattern on the daily time frame after this downtrend. And a W pattern is a typical bullish bias pattern, which is showing us a trend reversal. So at this higher low play, I'm going to enter the market for TAO in a long, and this is going to be the next trade for me for Bittensor TAO. And after that, we could most likely see a continuation of the bullish momentum to the top side. So I think TAO will see prices around to $100,000 easily in the coming year. And let me know in the comments what your price prediction for Bittensor TAO is in 2025. So if you want to join my free Telegram group where I share a lot of interesting Bitcoin analysis, you can just click the link in the description under this video. Please leave a like if you think the video was useful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.